Welcome to our word of hope on this January the 8th as we celebrate the feast of the baptism of our Lord. I'm Brother Edward coming to you from Madison, Wisconsin. The baptism of our Lord marks the end of the Christmas season. So tonight our community will gather to put away our nativity set and take down the tree and put it out for recycling. So it's a kind of a little bit of a gloomy feeling after such a long celebration with our tree in our house. But today, what we read in Mark's gospel is very brief concerning the baptism of Jesus. One of the characteristics of Mark's gospel is that it's brief and it puts emphasis on what people do rather than what they say. And this text is one of those examples, because we find Jesus seeking baptism, a baptism that is for sinners, for the remission of their sins. But we know that Jesus is sinless, so why is he there? What I see in his action is that he is there to stand with sinners, which is a foreshadowing of the mission of Jesus. Jesus does not come for the righteous, he comes for the sinner. And there are sinners at the River Jordan seeking some kind of reconciliation or conversion. And Jesus stands with them and seeks John's baptism, which he receives. And immediately he hears a voice from heaven, the sky open, and this dove appears. And we hear the words of God the Father, "This is my Son, in whom I am very well pleased." It's not just the way a parent would say to my child's great. I'm so happy with him. But in this particular case, the Father is giving his approval to the mission of Jesus for the salvation of sinners. And this is done through this action of baptism. It is interesting that we will see in later parts of the Gospel of Matthew that, first of all, this word immediately will appear. In fact, it appears 47 times. And each time that it is used, it is connected to a transformative way of a person's life, a cure, or a conversion of their sins. So we see this transformative action of God working through his Son, Jesus Christ. It's interesting that even today in the church, sometimes we find it uncomfortable that we see the church with sinners. Maybe it's kind of a confrontation within ourselves that we see that sometimes. But the mission of Christ and his church, which he will pass on to his disciples, is the salvation of souls. And if the church is not with the sinner, then the church is not fulfilling its mission. So I ask myself, how much contact do I have with sinners? And within that contact, do I call them to be a better version of themselves, to flourish in the love and grace and friendship of God? So today, ask yourself, when you encounter a sinner, do you bless them or curse them? Do you call them forth to be better people, or do you shun them and move away from them in your journey?